And we are back finally.
For another issue of the Not So Perfect podcast. As always, I am Matt Shin with my lovely cohort here.
Gerardo Cordejo, and we are back. Good to see you.
Took a week off. Someone had to do some personal and team development training.
Yeah, we took a trip to Miami and straight from sandals to boots.
Yeah, he came
and
back.
Jeans.
Good thing was I didn't text you to let you know that what you were coming back to. I'll let you.
Oh,
I want you to feel it authentically.
Thank you, man. Always
Yeah.
thinking of us. Always
Absolutely.
thinking of us. We got a race coming up.
Yeah, got the Bass Pro Marathon this weekend on Sunday. Running this one with Mr. Josh Buffington. Shout out Josh. So yeah, we're going in there both hobbled and beat up. I think he's dealing with a stress fracture in his foot, and I've potentially got a broken big toe right now. So
Is it broke? Did you get it checked? Is it broken?
I mean, they're not going to be able to do it. They're going to tell me not to run this weekend. So
Wrap it.
that's what happens when you elect for the non-refundable marathon purchase price. So
No pain, no gain.
that's right. So we're going to do that this weekend. So yeah, we'll have another test of our will and our toughness, mentally and physically.
And has training been pretty easy?
Well, so I'm a month out from my last one, so did a lot of the leg work there. Been on the usual runs and stuff, but broke this or whatever I did to this toe about a week ago. So the last week and a half hasn't been great. So we're gonna see what happens.
Give it your best, man.
Yep. So yeah, that's the plan for this weekend. And then after that, marathon season will be done until next year, and then I'll get into some Tri-Cap Kids Club wrestling coaching.
Okay. Is
Yep,
that club or high school or?
It's like the feeder program for Helias.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So they start at what age?
I mean, whenever I started, it was like you had to be over 8 by a certain date before you could do all that stuff. Now I think it's kind of up to the parents.
Cool.
So yeah.
And you're currently doing 75 hard. Shout out to all those warriors trying to do 75 hard right now.
I think it's me and Keith are the only ones under this roof that are
Boshy's
doing it.
doing it too.
Oh, that's right. Boshy's doing it. So 3 of us under this roof are doing it currently. I think Boshy got a little bit later start than what we did, and I think Keith jumped on a couple days after we started. So we're all kind of right around that same start time. So yeah, we're going through it. I got some clients, maybe 4 or 5 that are doing it. I got a couple clients that are doing kind of a modified version just to see if it's something they can do with their 3 kids, their full-time jobs and all that stuff. So I got one lady that's kind of been just trying it to see if she could do the 2 workouts a day, if that was even feasible, just with her schedule. So I think starting November 1, she's fully into the 75 hard.
And it's not a weight loss system. It's a life-changing system.
It's a life-changing self-help program that just helps you kind of work on a lot of different aspects of your life. So yes, you do have, the physical aspects of it with the 2 workouts a day. You do have the physical aspect of it of getting a gallon of water every day. You do have the physical aspect of sticking to a diet. Like he doesn't suggest a certain diet, but just whatever you decide you want to do. If you want to lose weight, maybe do a calorie deficit. If you're wanting to add muscle, maybe do something with a more protein-heavy approach. But he doesn't specify on what diet you need to do. Just pick one and stick to it.
Yeah.
So, but also then there's the other non-physical aspects of it where you take an accountability picture of yourself at the end of the day. You also got to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every day, nonfiction or self-help book every day. So it's not all about looking good, getting your body in better shape. That's part of it, but it's also working on making you accountable for reading 10 pages every day, making sure you're accountable, getting the accountability picture of yourself every day. So basically, and this is how I describe it most times, is think of just all the little aspects of your life, mental, spiritual, physical, mental. Basically, you're taking a screwdriver and you're just tightening up those screws on all the different aspects of your life.
Tuning the guitar.
Yep. So you're keeping yourself accountable by not making the daily excuses that maybe we're used to doing, or maybe the ones that we always fell back on. Yeah. Well, things are busy this time of year. I just can't do it. It is what it is. Look, if it's important to you, you'll make it work. Is it going to be easy? No. It's not called 75 easy. It's 75 hard for a reason. It's going to mean you have to be accountable for 75 consecutive days. And if you're not, day 25, day 26, you start back at day 1. So it's basically not leaving any room for that unaccountability factor of it, which a lot of people, when things get tough, they quit.
Yeah.
So, and this is the thing with that program. I haven't ever done it all the way through the first time perfectly, I don't know many people that have.
Yeah.
There's people that have, but I'm not saying that it's something that's, if you don't get it right on your first time, just throw your hands up and quit. But it teaches you resiliency, which I feel like this time of year for us and for our country and for everybody, we could use more resiliency.
Yeah.
Instead of, if you would have gotten into real estate when you were, how old were you when you first got into it?
24, 25.
Yeah. So if you, let's say your first house that you're trying to sell, let's say you get a whole bunch of no's and you're like, well, I guess I'm not meant for this line of work. I'll go grab an application at McDonald's. Like, where would your life have been?
Yeah.
But you showed resilience. You kept coming back. You learned from the mistakes you made and you got better. You didn't make those mistakes as often. And hopefully now after, what's that, 15, 20 years of doing this, you don't make those same mistakes anymore. So you're growing, you're learning, you're expanding. And now you're teaching those same lessons that you learned to those people underneath you. So it's just that trickle down effect of leadership, of coaching,
accountability,
which I think was
like
kind of
you
along
said.
the lines of what you were wanting to talk about today.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we're headed. 75 hard requires accountability. Getting better requires accountability. The next level requires accountability, and that kind of equals to the coaching. The conference we went to was the XPCon down in Miami, and it was 4,500 of the 70th or the 90th. I'm not sure how many realtors we have at eXp Realty worldwide.
Yeah.
But most of the North America agents come to this one, and it was close to 5,000 agents that showed up, and just top level, high performing individuals. We had met with brokers that run 2,000 agent teams. We have 4 here. Imagine running a squad of 2,000 agents. Brokers that have teams worldwide now. Brokers selling $300 million vineyards, or sitting talking like this to those people of that caliber. And who else? It was just a lot of top-notch people within the company. The CEO was there, the founder was there, so they're directly talking to us.
Yeah.
And talking to my young guys that are just now getting into the industry. But the more connections I was making was okay, you're retired, you're in your 50s.
He made it.
You made it. You're in your 50s. You're no longer selling real estate, showing houses, sticking up signs in the ground, answering the phone. How'd you do it?
Yeah.
What did you do? And that was more of my conversations because, again, I plan my life in 5-10 year increments. Right now I'm in my 40s, so trying to figure out what to do in my 40s. And I ran into a guy that I haven't met since 2011, but I have notes from him in a conference in 2011. He's like, there's no way you still have that. I was like, I'm a note taker, man. I keep all my notes.
There you go,
Yeah,
sir.
this is what you said.
That's right.
Are you still doing that? But obviously he's done beyond that. So I sat down with him. Bashi got to meet with him. He fell in love with Bashi. He's 50.
How could you not?
He's 52,
How could
and
you
he's
not
like,
fall in love with
you're
Bashi?
22, 30 years. Oh my! He's just blown away. That this kid is
taking a trip down memory lane for him.
and that this kid is that motivated. He's a kid. There's no other way to call. Nothing else to call a 22-year-old.
In this building, he's certainly a kid compared to the rest of us.
So we got to meet him. I came back to town, reached out to him. Hey Lars, I didn't know you were that much older than me, and you're done with you've reached the pinnacle, right? Can you help me and guide me into like my next steps for my next 10 years? First question he asked me, do you have a life plan? And I was like, oh, well, how do I answer this and sound professional? How it sound cool? I was like, I'm not gonna lie to him. That's just the best thing I could do. I have an idea of my life plan, but I do not have a plan.
Yeah, I don't have anything on paper.
I don't have. I have written goals, where we want to be at. But where I've reached, where I'm at now, the goals are up to my 40s, and everything I promised to Stacy or to where we'd be at in my 40s is where we're at.
Yeah.
So now it's just like a blank canvas. Like, what's next? And he followed that question up with, do you have a coach? So all those individuals I've talked to, my current real estate coach, his coach now is Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins. He's sitting there in chairs talking to them now. That's who he's made it to the coaching, right? But he makes millions now through coaching. I thought he'd be done. He no longer needs coaching. He made it. No, he's paying $250,000 a year now for coaching. You know how much that costs.
Yeah.
So kind of, I wanted to go into that. No matter what level you are at in life, you will need some coaching. I mean, our kids need parenting. Parents need coaching.
Yeah.
There's I don't think, nothing against therapists, but I think therapists guide towards coaching. It's like, hey, you guys try this.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Try this. I think that would be a better name for therapists. Life coaches, I guess they are all around. But back to accountability and health. Matt is a trainer / coach. People come here to get coached by you. You can't just, because anybody can print out a workout plan at ChatGPT and a meal plan. But unless somebody's not holding a gun to your head.
But I'm holding you accountable.
But the accountability.
The accountability gun.
And Lars was sitting there at that dinner that night, and he's just like turned sideways, and I was like, dude, are you not gonna eat? Like the people had these 6 giant pizzas, and I swear the pizzas were like 4x4. These boxes were huge. He's feeding everybody. He's like, my coach counts all my calories. He's like, he can see all my calories. I got to plug him in. And so to see that level individual, we're like, dude, you've made it. You don't have to answer to anybody. Boom, still being coached.
Yeah.
So that's coming back with that energy. Again, I coach my team to their goals, to their life goals. You know what I mean? But he also recommended a process. He's like, go through this process, and then I'll give you the time.
Yeah. Read this book.
Not because I don't have the time for you. I do have the time for you, but I need you to be committed.
Yeah.
And I can't just say yes to everybody.
Well, guess what I told all my clients whenever they first thought about last year doing 75 hard? Read this book. Come back to me when you're done with it and give me a yes or a no.
Or a no.
Because I don't mind doing this. Like, I'm not doing it for weight loss or really, I'm doing this more as accountability for you guys. That, look, I'll do this with you. I don't need to do it, but I'm doing it anyways. Not saying I don't need to do it. I don't need to do it for health reasons, weight, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good there. But again, it's beneficial to me whether I think it is, whether I don't.
That's his 365 hard.
Yeah. So, but I made sure they read that book because I was like, look, I know I'm committed to do this. Some of you guys might think you're committed until you realize the first snowy day where you got to go outside and do a 45-minute activity. And I'm not going to be the only one still doing it 12 days in because it snowed and you guys are like, oh, this is way too hard, I'm out. Like, you're going to fully know what you're getting into because I'm not going to be the only one doing this, 15 days in because everybody else quit because it was too hard. Like, you're going to read all about it, know everything that's going into it. And then if you're still willing to do it and ready to say yes, then let's go.
And then the snow is coming up. It snowed here in November. It snows in December.
Yep. So, but again, that's just that, I need to know you're ready because my time is valuable, just like your buddy or your coach Lars. Like,
yeah.
You know what? Yes, I have hit the pinnacle. I have made it, but I'm not done working. I'm not done making other people better. But I don't want people that are half in, half out. 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the ground. I need you both feet in, grinded, gripping in, ready to do some work. So, and everybody that did it last year lost some weight, hit some goals. And again, that's that power of that accountability. If nobody's watching, who's going to know if you don't do that 45-minute outside activity? But, just the way my brain works is I am always my own worst critic. Like, it doesn't matter who critiques me or gives me positive feedback, negative feedback, whatever it is. Like, I'm always the worst on myself, So people like to, get on the internet and talk some smack or talk some crap here and there about stuff. It's like, this is JV level stuff. If you want to hear some real X-rated stuff, spend 5 minutes in here and just see how that process goes, and you'll be begging to get out.
For 40 years, this person's been talking shit to me.
My whole life it seems like. But yeah, so
you don't have a chance, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things like you're talking about. We need everybody at every level of your life. You're never done learning or getting better unless you choose to be done. Unless you choose to not take that next step in improving your life for yourself, your family, your kids, whoever, your work, your business. So that ranges all the way from kids. They need coaches in their life, whether it be a baseball coach, whether it be a teacher, whether it be
wrestling coach,
whatever. Parents are also coaches as well. Just like I needed, if I needed my coach in wrestling whenever I was in high school, like, he's arguably one of the greatest Missouri high school wrestling coaches ever. So why wouldn't I be willing to take knowledge from someone that's got that much time, experience, trophies, banners to prove it? Like, that's, for me, that was huge.
And the best coaches, I mean, they are very expensive. So choose wisely. You don't have to go there, but just get the guides on where to get better. Just get to the next level. Just improving yourself.
Yeah.
And where we're at now, there's so much noise out there, and not too many people are invested in improving themselves.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where, you've been kicked and, punched enough times. It's like a lot of people just give up hope. They lose that resiliency to keep getting back up and dusting off and getting back on the old horse or getting back on the wagon or whatever.
Because I thought the coach I needed was the one with the flashy cars and the giant houses and the lake house and the yacht and the boats and the lifestyle. And when Lars was just like, I'm 52, I'm at home at 4 every day. I no longer sell or coach.
Yeah.
This engine has helped me get to this point at eXp Realty. That model can do this for human beings.
Yeah.
Especially if you're already in the industry. And I was like, dude, you're the coach I need. Like, and randomly ran into him because, we're in Miami.
Yeah.
Everybody's going partying after the conference. A friend of ours is staying at this hotel. He's like, come chill with me. Come chill with me at the poolside. Yeah, all the pools there at Miami Beachside are awesome. So we go there, and then the hotel's beautiful, and we walk by the party, and then we see people. We're saying hi. They're wearing their lanyards. They're EXP. We're EXP. And then there's Lars, and I was like, oh, there's Lars. And he had a shirt that said God first. And then Bashi's the first one that goes over there. He's like, dude, I love your shirt. So they're exchanging, and the dude was like, dude, I love your phone. His phone case has something with God is on Bashi's phone case. So Lars orders Bashi's phone case, and Bashi orders Lars' shirt. Yeah, and that's how the conversation begins. But randomly we meet up for the signs. There was a sign to go there. And that was my sign of approaching him and even exchanging numbers. The other guy that was having the party, I have a phone call with him today. Very successful. He doesn't even own real estate. He travels the world in an RV, pretty much North America.
Yeah.
In an RV, and they have a YouTube channel. 40,000 plus subscribers, millions of views. So I'm going to get a little more insights on
there you go.
On our YouTubing adventure with Matt.
I like it.
To grow that channel, but I have a call with him today. Just individuals just willing to give.
Yeah.
And the coaching that I'm looking for and need.
Yeah. Well, and again, there's those people that have the flashy cars and all the stuff that, all the material things that people want, but the people that have really made it, those are the ones that are content with being home by 4 o'clock, because how many days or how many years of their life did they spend working, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then have dinners after that and then get home at 10 and, kids are already in bed. All the sacrifice they had to do, So some of those people, and these are the people I look for, the ones that they have the stuff, they don't need to flash it, they don't need to flaunt it, but
they figured something out.
They're the ones that have kind of understood the true meaning of wealth in life. We've had a podcast on our definition of wealth or riches or however you want to describe it, but wealth comes in different ways. Yeah, there's Ferraris out there that are awesome, and there's 7,000 square foot homes that are awesome, but for some people that have achieved all that stuff, they'd rather spend time with their kids. They'd rather spend time with their family or their grandkids or, do some things maybe they always wanted to do that just never had time to do it, Maybe that's more of a priority now. But yeah, as far as the coaches and stuff go, I remember, even just in my race, I have different coaches throughout different aspects of my life. When I first started this race planning, or this race, the Capital City race, day one, once I finally, talked to Judge Walker and the treatment court team, and they were on board, and we'll help you with whatever you need to get this thing up and running. We love the idea. We're behind you 100%. So I got the coaching from them, giving me the confidence that let's do it. We got your back. We're gonna support you. So now I'm not doing this by myself. I got help where I need it. From people I respect and really look up to. That were a big part of saving my life, and at a very vulnerable time for me, So just going through that, getting their okay behind it, and saying, we got you, whatever you need, we'll help out with, So then that gave me the courage to then walk down the street to High Rise Bakery and open up my laptop. And question one was Google, how do I set up a nonprofit local race in Jefferson City, Missouri?
Yeah.
And I started going on. So that's where it started, So it started with just a little bit of hope from some people I look up to that were supporting me. And then as the race planning process went on, I found, I was smart enough to know at the time that I didn't know everything. So what I did was I found people smarter than me in all the different aspects of the race planning, entertainment, city permitting, and the police department, working very close with Sergeant Lennart on what's an approvable route, what does that look like? And it's a lot of trial and a lot of error, So again, had I turned in my first submission for a route, and he said no, and I just threw my hands up and quit. Again, that's where we're going back to that resiliency thing and that coaching of, hey, it's okay. Like, we didn't get it right this time. Let's just go back. Let's hit it again. Come back next week. We'll look at it again and we'll make changes and we'll get it, but it's going to take a couple iterations of it, So again, it's just so many different coaches I have throughout the race planning process and talking with Ultramax, who's our chip timing company out of Columbia. Chrissy, she's got me on speed dial, and I got her on speed dial, and I was asking her questions every other day, it seemed like, and she was probably getting sick of me. But, my goal at the time, this race was for a good friend of mine that just passed away, so this was going to be in his name and his honor. Like, I didn't want to do a half-assed job or a shit job at planning this because all those people are going to be here to watch on race day, the mom, the kids of Jared's, everybody, and all my pledge brothers that knew Jared very close. So I made sure that everything I did, I was going to be 100% or as close as I could get on all these different things to make it an awesome day and just an awesome event. And, whether you think it is or whether you don't think it is, I feel like we've done a really good job over the years and gotten better every year from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, and now we're going on year 4. So the coaching as much year 4 isn't as necessary as what it was year 1, but again, I never rest on laurels. I always ask for other people's opinions on a path that we're taking this year or something we're looking to do differently this year than last year. And I'll ask, like, Chrissy, is this something that seems feasible or doable, or do you have any suggestions of maybe holes we're not filling where we could do a little bit better on things? And not taking offense to her saying, well, opinions, I don't think that's a good idea because of X, Y, and Z. So it's just not letting your feelings get hurt over critiques. Critiques are how we get better. It's how we tighten up those screws a little bit in our life.
Feedback.
Yeah.
Feedback.
Yeah. And some of it's constructive, some of it might be positive, or some of it might be all negative, but I get multiple different sources to tell me, so it's not all coming from one person who's maybe a negative outlook on things, so he's always going to have negative stuff to say. I get a lot of people's opinions on the matter just to get different perspectives on it. And
thank you for bringing that to Jeff City. If you haven't participated on the Capital City race, awesome. Stacy has ran a few half marathons, and the people at marathons, the running community, incredible people. Yeah. And now Matt has brought that here, that same community. I mean, it was here all along. All the runners from here go other places, but now we got our home race. So good job planning that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's just something that, it's Jeff City's first ever half marathon they've ever hosted. So, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
And it's one of the toughest ones.
Yeah, I mean, if you know
the 5K will test you, man.
If you know Jefferson City well, it's not shy of hills. So it's, there's a lot of elevation throughout the courses.
So even the runners out here, they were like, whew.
Yeah.
It's
brutal.
It's brutal. So it might be known as one of the toughest ones in the country now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's not up for me to decide. But I'll let some people a lot smarter than me that know the running community a lot better. I'll let them decide if they want to take a lap on the half marathon route and see how that fares to other ones. But
it's a good time, and it's right around Mother's Day.
It's always the same. It's always Mother's Day weekend that Saturday morning.
It's an awesome way to start Mother's Day.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of ladies that, that's what they want for Mother's Day. They want their family all to get together. We're going to go walk the 5K, or some of us are going to walk, some of us are going to run, or whatever. It's just they're getting their work in, I always tell them, like, you got to do something every day, just every day.
Oh, I heard you say that to somebody yesterday.
It doesn't have to be 3 hours. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 25 minutes. It could be an hour, whatever you got available for you.
I think you said challenge your body every day.
Every day.
Just to do one minimal thing.
Try something hard.
Try something hard.
Yeah, because especially if you're, you're getting up early and doing that stuff, if the first thing you do is something you don't want to do and you get it done, the rest of that day is going to look a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's that phone call that comes, 11 o'clock and you got to leave work to go pick up a sick kid or something like that, like, oh, my whole day's ruined. Like, it might give you a chance just to be like, well, I already did the hard work today, so this can't be worse, right? So again, just kind of taking things in stride and just rolling with them.
Oh man, I got back and I was like, nope, no more cold showers. So I got to do the hard things again.
I know, man. I know.
It's 30 degrees out there this morning.
Yeah.
39, 38,
wet,
something like that.
And wet. So, yeah, we've had some good things along the line. But again, all those things that I've accomplished,
And AAA, there's coaches there, right? Those are
you got a sponsor.
Sponsor.
Yeah, and that's, call it coaching, call it sponsor, call it what you want. Someone that you can look up to that has knowledge that you don't currently have, or the experience that you don't currently have.
And accountability, they'll give you accountability because it was a quote, accountability is the highest form of love that you can receive. Is one of my other coaches would push all the time and hold your people accountable, hold your partner accountable. We ran into a dating coach in the streets of Brickell in Miami,
Dating coach? What's
a
that
dating
like?
coach, and we're like, you're a dating coach? He's like, look, he had like 99,000 followers on social media, and then we got to see him in action over there, and it was the boys were eating it up because these boys don't need no dating. Well, I'm sure they could use some dating advice. Mike, at least. Mike's the single one.
Possibly.
But there's, down to the dating coaches, whatever area you're struggling, there's people out there to help you out.
Yeah. When you mentioned too the therapist, and in terms of coaching or not coaching, like a lot of what I've went through with the BetterHelp therapy and stuff like that, it's all stuff that I knew the answer to, but I was just running it through my filter in my head, so it never seems like a good idea or like a practical idea. And, it's kind of like what Lars said to you, first time I talked to Linda, my therapist, is like, well, what kind of coping mechanisms are you using? It's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, are you journaling? Are you, doing all these things? And it's like, I've tried doing the journaling a bunch of different times, and all I get is just blank pages and me just staring aimlessly. Like, I don't know where to start. I don't even know what, do I put the date on it? Like, do I date these? I don't even know where to start. She's like, just start by saying, today I feel what?
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. Start small, and once you get more comfortable opening up as you do this, which is going to take practice and practice and practice to get better at it.
God, every time I start writing on, my hand hurts, though. Can I type it?
Get the old thumb muscles working. But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, she wasn't telling me anything that was, parting the Red Sea or anything like that. It wasn't anything that was just, pulling the skin over my eyes. It was stuff that I basically already was telling myself that I was just like, well, you're probably an idiot and you're probably on the wrong page and not even on the right place to be starting this. But
well, it's teenagers, it's us kids. Like, our parents told us our entire life until we got into 26, 25, 26, like, dang, you were right.
Yeah.
I've told Iris, like, your mom is not lying to you.
Yeah.
For right now, she sounds wrong, but she is right. She's going to be your bestest friend ever. She is not lying to you.
Yeah.
10, 15 years from now, you're going to get it. And she was right.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, too. It's like, and you can't really explain this to kids, is like, look, mom and dad are about the only two people in this world that you can trust to not lie to you. You know what I mean?
And even that anymore is scary. You can't even, the kids can't believe that because what they see their parents do.
Yeah.
Their actions.
The parents that say one thing and do something different, So that's the matter of, is what you're preaching and what you're practicing, do they align? Mm-hmm. Do they overlay each other? And, that's a question you're going to have to ask yourself.
Shoot, money coaching. One of the podcasts I was listening to yesterday, like, it's not taught in the schools. Kids don't know how to open a bank account, how to manage a savings account, how to write a check, how to deposit money, because everything is just, they're trained. It's kind of scary where that's headed, but it's not taught. So it's up to us to teach them to do that.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's, and that's one of those things too, you get the discussions about like school. Well, what do they teach them in school? Well, hopefully it's science, math, English, writing, reading, the basic components. But, if there's curriculum that's not being covered that you deem important, that's going to be something that you as parents need to implement on your own outside of just the school day. to teach them different life stuff, like, again, checking accounts and money, financials, like all that.
How to use the power tool. Like, I don't think they have body shop anymore, do they, at schools?
So the public schools have like an alternative school, JCAC. It's the alternative curriculum where they can work, if it's something, people more geared to like maybe 2-year technical schools. Where they can do like...
Start with that.
HVAC, or they got auto body, and they got, welding and stuff like that. So yeah, that is something that some of the public schools do offer here in town. And it's just a whole separate program from like the traditional curriculum of...
Do they still have home ec? Bring back home ec.
That might be like a JCAC thing. It might be. They might have...
Because I remember like sewing, having a sewing class. And
did you? We never had any of that. No, they used to have like a shop class, but yeah, they got rid of that before I got to Elias.
Wood shop. We had wood shop, and I made a Wu-Tang Clan clock. It was sweet, man.
Still running? Still?
No, it's that was long time ago.
Dead like Wu-Tang.
90s stuff.
Dead like Wu-Tang. Yeah, no. So I mean, it's there's just different aspects of it where you just got to look for different ways to kind of implement stuff. But a lot of it's just are you practicing what you're preaching? Are you saying something different than what you're actually doing? Because as much as you'd love to have your kids pay attention to every word you're saying, it's easier for them to pay attention to what you're doing. You know what I mean? So if you're constantly telling kids that you're never touching alcohol, you're never going to touch it, you're never going to touch it, you're never going to touch it. But Dad, how come every day after work you always have two cocktails? Mommy has some wine. Like why are you telling us two different things? Well, what kind of a response do you have for that? Because they're going to ask the questions. That's one thing kids are not short of is questions, right?
They're just curious. No, and you were saying something about the work schedule. My youngest, Marley, she comes up to me. She's like, "Good morning, Daddy. Are you working today?" That's the first sentence every day. I'm like, "Oh man, like, getting better at that, But she's so young. Like, she knows I'm home on the weekends, but I still go to like my office at home. But to her, it's like every time I leave, I'm going to work.
Going to work.
Yeah. Which I don't want it to be that way. But also, like you said, we know what we got to do, but until we hear it and we hear it and we hear it, until you finally hear it from that other person, then you get it. Because people are like, dude, you already know you have to do that. I know, but unless I have accountability or not something to prove to that person, but they're just like, I don't know, it finally hits, you'll hear it when you're ready to hear it.
Yeah, well, and again, if it's some unemployed dude that's giving you advice and critiquing you on your day-to-day activities or what you do with your life, like, you're probably not going to have as much motivation to be accountable with coming from homeless guy Terry down the street as opposed to Lars, who you idolized back when you were in 2011, still idolizing today, randomly bumped into him, like, I think this is a sign.
He was on a stage that I will never be on, but then he's getting to meet my guys.
That's someone that you don't want to let down.
True.
So when you got him coaching you, and every Monday he's going to call you and say, all right, G, last week we talked about knocking out A, B, C, and D.
I don't know if I'm ready
How we doing on that? You get them all checked off? Like, you don't want to tell them no. You don't want to tell them you didn't get something done because...
That's coaching right there.
I mean? And that's the aspect of it you got to look at it from.
Yeah.
Like, with me, I had Judge Walker, I had Amanda Landrum, I had Katie Doman, that were all people I looked up to from the treatment court program. So whenever I got their backing, that said, hey, we're supporting you for whatever you want to do. We'll help you with whatever you got to do. That gave me the motivation to get my ass up, leave that office, go straight to High Rise Bakery. Boom, let's get started. Had they been like, we're pretty busy people. We've got a lot of other stuff going on, which wouldn't have been a lie, but they're all in, So again, that gave me the motivation to get after it. And, it's not just with the race planning stuff. I need to do that with this place. I need to do that with whenever I got out of rehab and got started back up at Madison's again. There's people I've used and leaned on. Again, everyone that I lean on whenever it comes to that stuff are people that have so much more experience than me. They've already got all the answers. They've already experienced all this stuff. They've already experienced how to handle properly a disgruntled customer, how to properly handle a catering order that we messed up because somebody didn't write everything down on the menu that they wanted, whatever it is, But I take people like that and I want to just be a sponge and just absorb everything they got, and that's just the curiosity in me, That's why with wrestling, with my head coach at Elias, that was, legendary.
Yeah.
I want to know everything I can about this guy. I want to know everything about why he does it the way he does it, and why don't we do it differently, or And he was one of those guys that's like, if you're in and you want to know, I'll teach you. But we're not half in, half out. That's why I was so dedicated to wrestling. It's just I wanted more. I wanted more.
Yeah, and
more.
what that guy did to your brain, your mentality, your mindset.
He turned us into freaking machines, man. We were the stuff. Looking back at it now, it's like, man, how did we do that? Why, how, But lots of
got
practice,
all the memories now.
Lots and lots of practice.
Yeah, and then there's that quote: "Don't take criticism from those sitting on the sidelines."
Exactly.
Back to there's tons of coaching out there, but check the resumes,
Absolutely.
check the accounts.
Especially if you're looking online for stuff, if you're looking on social media.
Oh yeah.
There's influencers out there that don't have have an asset to their name.
And the ChatGPT made up booklet.
Yeah, and they're going to act like they've done all this stuff by 22 years old. And you know what? At 22, you haven't experienced enough for me to buy into anything that you're selling, And that's no offense. If you've got people 22 and younger that want to take your advice, that's up to them. But do your homework, people. Do your homework. Make sure, if you're paying for coaching and it's something that you've never met the person in person before, you don't even know if he's real, be very cautious.
Yeah. And it is an investment too, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Back, when was it? My first broker, he was the one that taught me to go to conventions and get into the room, sit at the tables. And I've sat some tables. He let me be in those rooms, where these individuals are just moving the industry now to where it's going. So at the time, those classes would be like $300 for 2 days. Mm-hmm. Now that coach is $2,000 for 15 minutes. There's no time to waste. There's no room for error during that process. And and that coach, he hit rock bottom with alcoholism.
Yeah, man.
He went there, and I think he said he owed like $4 million in taxes, but he didn't quit.
Yeah.
He committed, didn't quit, got back into the right rooms with the right peoples, and here he is next to Tony Robbins and Graziosi.
Yeah, and those are people that I almost lean into more. Mm-hmm. The people that have been through struggle, setback, loss, whatever thing they've overcame that resonates with me. Whenever I started BetterHelp therapy, I was kind of nervous going in. First thing my therapist says whenever we're chatting on video conferences, "Hey Matt, my name's Linda. I'm an alcoholic and I've been sober for 38 years." And it's like, okay, this lady's going to understand me a whole lot better moving forward, which was...
What a way to start.
Which was something I was
That's a hook
about.
Right there, man.
And it worked great because I was already just relaxed. I wasn't guarded, wondering if this person's going to, check my location and send social services over to throw a straitjacket on me and do all this stuff for all my crazy thoughts and just whatever is going on. So, that's one of those things where the people that have been through a lot and have made it through those storms on the other end better, those are the people I resonate with because I have a personal story like that myself. I had to see the lowest of lows. I had to call my dad on Father's Day and tell him that his son's in jail for his 4th DWI. And then after that process, then I had to go get picked up by them and sat down at the kitchen table and told some very hard truths. And then that next morning I had to get up and I had to go to rehab. And it's not like I was getting dragged. This needed to be my decision to do, And if all that stuff had happened and I wasn't ready yet, I wouldn't have gone to rehab. I wouldn't have called my dad and even told him I was going to jail. I just would have bailed or bonded out and, probably not told him about it and tried to get it squared away on my own. But 40 WIs, you're probably doing prison time. So good chance you're going to have to let somebody know what's going on, But if any of those moments I wasn't ready to hear that stuff, it would have been one ear, out the other, or it would have been a bunch of excuses or lies or, more of the same of what I was doing. So, just looking back, the amount of effort and just the amount of times I wanted to quit and didn't, and just seeing what that does over day after day, after year, after year, after year. And now we're 6+ years sober and never been happier with myself, never been happier with my life. And
you're still not perfect.
Absolutely not. 1,000% not perfect. Not perfect. But I'm happy. I'm happy every morning I wake up. I'm happy when I take the dog for a walk and I get people driving by and I'm waving at them, I don't even think about it anymore. There were some earlier podcasts we talked about where I just started waving at neighbors. Now I don't even think about it. I just wave at them without, oh, I don't want to do this. Look at that nice guy's car. And, he doesn't get a wave today. You know what I mean? Like, now I don't even think about that stuff. Where early on, I'd still wave, but I'd be, gritting my teeth underneath the smile, the fake smile.
They're eating a donut while they drive by you.
Yeah, your donut and hot coffee. I bet that's delicious. Your mocha chai latte with all that sugar in it.
No, we're here to promote just improvement in life, and we're so lucky to have life, man.
Yeah.
Once you realize that, it really, and that's where I'm getting at, because the first class I went to at the convention was a money class. And it was, I believe this guy, because he went and hit rock bottom. He lost his mom. The story was he lost his mom. So his mom didn't trust the family with the life insurance check. So she had a friend. She wrote the check out to her friend. So the friend would divvy it out. And he's like, hey, friend, all right, we're ready to pay for mom's funeral. And we're ready for that check. And that friend was like, what check? And then in your teenage years to lose a parent, and your friend's mom's friend start stealing from you and all that stuff. It's like, okay, I'm all alone.
Yeah.
Now and his parents were divorced and all that stuff. So back to the money lessons. We all need coaching on money lessons. We still don't know where to invest in, what to throw it at, and all that. But that coaching back to this coaching we didn't have at school, because our parents thought we were going to be taught economics and the financial system and capitalism, and all that, and the tax system and all that. So improving in all areas of your life.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It is.
And it's going to take everything you got.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to make life-changing moves, there's going to be sacrifice, there's going to be failure, there's going to be letdowns, there's going to be setbacks. It's not going to be easy, because guess what? If it were, we'd all be driving a Rolls Royce, living in a 7,000 square foot home.
I don't think you drive a Rolls Royce.
You know what I mean? It's just, there are just things in life that aren't going to go your way. But ask any of the greats, whether it be sports, business, life, whatever, in your community, whatever, someone close by, someone you know. Every single person has a failure and a success, and multiple times. Nobody gets it right the first time through. Very rarely, And even if you get one thing right, there's 700 different other aspects of your work, your life, your job, your relationship that are going to cause new problems. Let's say you get this one solved, 4 new ones just popped up. And maybe those were always there, but since we addressed this one, now we realize, oh boy, we got to work on our faith, we got to work on our family, our family dynamic, we got to work on being better than yesterday, all this stuff, So there's just always aspects of it that can be better, You're never done until the day you take that last breath. So if you can just wrap your head around that thought and that idea of this is life. This is life. Mine is no different than this person's, my neighbor's, guy across the street. We're all going to go through shit. We're all going to go through struggle. We're all going to fail. But again, if we can do that from a community standpoint, through a coaching standpoint, through just the people under this building standpoint, if I'm having a rough day and everybody's here in the office, I know I got support from anybody I go talk to, and that's a great spot about where you work, A lot of people go to work and they can't stand the person working to their left. They can't stand the person working to their right.
They stayed there for decades.
And they're there for, years and years and years. So, best thing I can say is just try and make life as awesome as you can. And what I mean by that is just, if you're not happy with your job, with where you're at, make that better, Maybe you need to do some night classes. Maybe you need to look into doing something that's more of a passion. Maybe you enjoy woodworking. Maybe you enjoy making shoes. Maybe you enjoy working with leather. Do that. If that's something that you can have no problem waking up early to go get started on, rolling pizza dough at 4 a.m., do it. Make the best out of it, because if that's a passion that you have, it overflows into the product you're putting out to the customers. You know what I mean?
And you'll hear it too growing up. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. We are taught to make it about the money and go into debt and take this out and go get the debt to have the car, to have the house and all that stuff. But when you can design your life to not be revolved around money, you don't need the big house. Like you said, Matt will never drive a Rolls Royce, even if he can afford 10 of them.
No. Very practical.
You just have incredible gyms.
Very practical. What I need is a pickup, and I've got one of those, and it does everything I need. It's not a.
You'd invested otherwise.
It's not an F650 with 400-inch tires. No, thank you. I don't need that.
It's fun, but I think that's the question that I want to get out of all this, and I want to thank Lars for like testing me. You know, not saying, oh, Gerardo's here with a successful team. He don't need any of my.
Yeah.
No, he said, do you have a life plan and do you have a coach? It's like, no and no.
Yeah.
And it's never too late. One of my really good friends was part of the Amazon 30,000 that just got fired in their 40s, being there 12, 13, 16 years, however much time they gave them. So now I'm like, dude, what an opportunity to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
What an opportunity to go do exactly what you've been wanting to go do. But that was his first phone call, you know, so I was like happy, and I was like, all right, so what are we going to do? Like, do you have a life plan? Do you have a coach?
Yeah.
I thought so. I know you did it. Let's go. You know, now let's go.
Yeah. And that's, that kind of reminds me of just the, the aspect of, you probably thought you had a good grip on everything, got a good direction, a good plan, and then as soon as you go up to Lars, he hits you with a couple hard truths. You're like, we're like someone like Bosch who's like, man, Gerardo's got it all figured out. He's always coaching us, telling us the right thing to do, the next right thing to do. He never leads us astray. He's like, there's nothing that Gerardo needs to learn. He's got it all figured out. You go ask this guy that you saw like 2011,
boom.
And the first two things he hits you with are just truth bombs. It's like,
yep.
And my point of that story or just that lesson is there's levels to everything you do in life. It doesn't matter if you're baking bread. There's people that sell a loaf of bread for $600 a loaf. And there's guys that are doing it in mass distribution in some factory. There's always levels to everything you're doing, I'll tell people, like, if I get done with a marathon, I'll tell them what my time was. Like, oh my gosh, like, that's crazy. That's got to qualify you for Boston, right? And it's like, no. And I'm not even close to that. Like, I'd have to shave off 30 minutes of a race. Like, or if we're going off my last race, I'd have to shave an hour off of that race, But it just goes to show you, like, there are levels. There's the people that walk marathons. There's the people that run 6-hour marathons. There's people that run 5-hour marathons. There's people that run 4-hour marathons, 3-hour marathons. Then you get into Boston. 2-hour marathons, you're setting world records. Sub 2-hour world record, or sub 2-hour marathon, you are the world record.
They are being coached also.
Yeah, and yes, guess what? These people all they have running coaches, they have strength and conditioning, they have a PT coach,
nutrition
they have a
coaches.
Massage therapist, they have a chiropractor, nutritionist. Like, they need all of these people to hold them accountable because maybe they don't have the dietary, or the dietary accountability that maybe they need. And they know that, and that's why they get the coach. I have people that use me for personal training and group training because they don't hold themselves accountable unless they know someone's waiting on them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 5:30 on Tuesdays and Fridays, It's just how it is.
I didn't get out of bed to work out this morning because I have nobody to hold me accountable.
Oh, it was raining.
Well, I go downstairs.
I'm just kidding.
I'll use that excuse.
Yeah.
The window was cracked and it's raining.
I was throwing you a bone, bro.
No.
I was trying to throw you an excuse.
No.
I was throwing you an out.
There aren't any. There are no, I did not go, and now I got to make up for it. Yeah. I'm dreading that. I'm holding that the rest of the day now. You didn't go. And it's only a half an hour workout that I mess with, that I do at my 42 years of age, but it'll be part of my new life plan.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. There's no substitute for hard work. That's one of my favorite sayings. You can be book smart, you can be all this stuff, but if you don't apply that to the hard work that it takes to achieve whatever it is you're working on, probably not going to achieve it. Or you're going to run into roadblocks until you start fully devoting yourself to 100% in.
Mm-hmm. And I hope this is a little bit more of a motivating podcast.
Yeah.
It's never too late. There's a coach for every level of your life, wherever you're at, wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
They are out there. If you need help reaching out to any of those coaches, reach out to us. Hopefully you're still watching, made it to this far.
Yeah, if you are.
But if you guys want, I've shared that book with Matt. of how I'm going to build
We can
my
put that in the description or
life
in the,
plan.
comment
Yeah.
section.
No,
Yeah.
I'm actually we're going to make you guys ask for it.
Okay.
Send us a
If
message,
you
DM
want
us.
it, we'll send it, but not until
Send
you ask
it.
for
You
it.
got to earn it. You
We
got to
gotta
put
know
in the
that you're-
time.
We got to know that you're dedicated.
Yeah, and it's I bought it, Bashi bought it, Matt's starting it. You got the link at least to get it going, but it requires pretty much an 8-hour sit down. Who's gonna do that right away?
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, here's a book, do an 8-hour sit down of your life, then we'll talk. So that's the commitment I'm getting ready to do with my wife. Again, I'm in my 40s and 3 children.
Yeah.
You know that I want to be there for the rest of their life as long as possible, and help them, have them watch me, take care of them, love them.
Yeah, and hopefully that trickles down to how they
Yeah.
raise their families and their kids.
Yeah, because I might be a grandpa one day.
I wouldn't say probably. I'd say you can just plan on being.
Well, as of right now, I'm glad my daughter's
I'll
mentality is
think
not
long
there.
term for you. You just keep it to the
When I
day-to-day
need that
operation.
coaching, I'll come get to you.
There you go.
Thank you guys for watching the Not So Perfect
Appreciate
podcast.
it, guys.
We always have a blast, and see you on the next one.
That's right. Better than yesterday.
Peace.
Peace.